Good morning, everybody. This is week 5 of distance learning. Realize that this is going to be kind of one of the last weeks before some of you may have elementary brothers and sisters who are going to start going to school every day. And then also, obviously, this is Martin Luther King weekend. So you didn't have school on Monday, but you still have your even periods Wednesday and Thursday. So we're going to still do the day 2 assignments or the 2-day assignments. And so what we're going to be doing now is moving into a new topic, which is going to kind of link a couple things that we definitely got into with independence, but now kind of expanding it into kind of the economic impact independence had on the Americas and how that transitioned from a more agriculturally slave labor type of economy would then eventually lead to a very different emergence in the early 1900s for the U.S., Central South America, and then eventually even Canada into kind of the world of industrialization. So we start this by looking at the institution of slavery, and we're going to examine this in a very different way, particularly by starting at kind of a background of what the slave trade was in the Atlantic, and then also kind of connect it to today and how slavery still exists so that we understand what slavery was and how it was an element of economic advancement in the 16 and 1700s and even before then, but then also be able to apply kind of a understanding of the racial undertone that it really evolved into, which was very different from what had existed previously as far as slavery was concerned or slave labor. So day 1 is a pretty straightforward discussion. We'll watch this little TED video and then you'll have some specific questions to answer for that. We'll start the day 2 on Thursday with this video that looks at the idea of modern slavery, just to kind of come full circle in a discussion of what that institution is, slavery itself, and what that means and how it's unique in the Atlantic region of what would be obviously the New World in the 1500s and 1600s. And then we're going to get into a little reading assignment. So you have kind of a choice here. You're going to be put into groups to read part of this thing called the Peculiar Institution. And this is going to be something that we're actually going to kind of, develop a little bit more in kind of the idea of perspective and what slavery was in the United States. And basically, these are various readings that get into some depth and understanding about the different elements of the slave system in the United States. And what you're going to be doing is basically be put in a group, and we're going to start working on this on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, you're going to present. And so in your groups, you're going to get a reading. You're going to develop and talk and kind of work on that reading on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, everybody's going to have a slides presentation that they should explain to the class and detail. And these should be basically 3 slides of the 3 most important details in the section that you read, and in a description or an example of why they are the most important. All right. If you are unable to make it to class either of those days, I will then reach out to you on Wednesday and tell you which reading you should do and prepare a presentation for. There is not a Flipgrid option for this, so that if you do choose to do the presentation this way, you would need to create the slides and then submit it. And then everybody's going to create and submit their slide presentation for this, at least one person per group. All right. So that's about it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a message.